The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show with yours truly, your Chief Happiness Officer, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. You need to just show up in different places because you never, ever know who you're going to meet. And it was about 3 years ago that I was at a women's event in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and from the stage was this amazing woman who started to speak, and I became very contagiously attracted to her. Little did I know, because I came in a little bit late but quiet, as I was watching her, I was introduced to the woman who you're going to meet today. She is one of my mentors. I think very, very highly of her. A matter of fact, I speak about it all the time. Whoever you want to become, find the person that has already become it and follow them. And your success will follow shortly after that. And that is my key to success. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to a #1 New York best-selling author. Somebody who also inspires me with another mentor of mine, Robert Kiyosaki, and she is known all over the world. She influences so many people. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please have a warm welcome, and I know you're sitting in your living rooms, but go ahead and give a cheer for Miss Sharon Lechter. Sharon, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, Lyn-Dee. Thank you so much. Excited to be with you.
I am so happy you're here. We only have a short period of time together, but again, I just want to thank you for everything that you have helped me and instilled in me. I watch you from afar. I watch you travel on different stages around the world, and I'm always in awe with you. And I love when you speak because you speak with an authentic tongue, and I greatly appreciate that. So please share with our audience. Tell them about you, Sharon. Tell them who you are and how did you become who you are today.
Well, thank you, Lyn-Dee, and I'll try and give you the Cliff Notes versions because I've been around a long time. But I know you're in Florida right now, so I grew up in Florida. My parents did not have college educations. Their dream was that their daughter would get a college education. I grew up in a little house between my dad's used car lot and my mother's beauty shop. We had orange groves. We had rental properties that I had to help scrub out the bathrooms. I swore I would never be an entrepreneur. I said, I'm going to go become a sophisticated professional. So I got my degree in accounting. I started with at that time, one of the big 8 accounting firms in Atlanta, Georgia, and expected that I would rise to the ranks and become partner and retire. And, I had my life painted out for me. But about the ripe old age of 25, I realized I was working a lot of hours for someone else. And all of a sudden, my parents started looking a lot smarter. Because they were buying, building, and creating assets. And I said, I need to try and get into this game. So I left public accounting and one of my clients had invited me to join him in a company that he was buying. And it actually ended up being the worst business decision of my life because the company had all kinds of corruption. But had I not made that decision, I wouldn't have met a young attorney named Michael Lechter. And so we've just celebrated 39 years. This year will be 40 years of marriage. So sometimes the worst business decisions can be the best life decisions. It certainly was for me. Napoleon Hill says, out of every adversity comes a seed of an equal or greater benefit. Well, for me, I got instant feedback. And so that started our relationship. We had children. My kids didn't like to read, so I met the inventor of the first talking children's book. We built that to a global brand for 4 years, sold that in our 4th year, and that's actually when we moved to Arizona, where we live now, back in 91. And in 92, our oldest son went off to college and got into credit card debt. I was devastated. I was mad at him, but I was more mad at myself. And so that was really December of 92 is when I dedicated the rest of my career to financial literacy. So fast forward, you mentioned Kiyosaki. My husband called me one day. Robert had come into his office with an idea for a board game, and he knew with my background I could help him, and it was something I was passionate about, financial education. And so we started a partnership and relationship for 10 years. We started the Rich Dad Company together, and we wrote a little book that we were used as a marketing tool for the game, the cash flow game, called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We never expected it to take on a life of its own. It was supposed to be a brochure. And so the world said, no, this is your brand. It's Rich Dad, not cash flow. So that started the first of 15 books we wrote together over 10 years. And at the 10-year mark, at the height of our success, we were no longer aligned in what we wanted to do. He wanted to go into franchising. I didn't like the model. It was great for us, but not for the franchisees. So I made the decision to step out of the company. And sometimes you have to close one door for other doors to open. And if people watching and listening to this, you have one message: is there a door in your life that you need to close? Because I didn't know I thought my legacy was Rich Dad. And, somebody upstairs had more plans in store for me. A few months later, I got a call from President Bush. I was invited to be on the President's Advisory Council. I served President Bush and Obama. I wouldn't have had that call had I still been a Rich Dad. A couple months later, with the financial crisis, I get a call from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. So for the last 10 years, I've been writing books in coordination, in cooperation with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And it's just been an incredible journey, all about providing the tools and resources people need to take control of their financial life, to teach the importance of buying, building, and creating assets. Assets are sexy, my favorite word on earth. But that pretty much brings me to who I am today. I'm continuing to write. I just released a book month before last called Success and Something Greater. And excited about that. And I have a new book coming out in April called Exit Rich. So one step at a time.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Happy anniversary. Congratulations. That is absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. And the name of today's show is Be Dynamic. And I love that. And you speak so much about that, about how to take your life and turn it into something that is better than the best. So share with our audience, why did you choose that title for this show?
Well, we are all the CEOs of our own life. And so the question is, are you creating your life? Are you being proactive about what you want out of life? Or are you being reactive? And if you are proactive in creating the life you want, you are in the driver's seat. You're being dynamic, and you are creating yourself as a role model for others to see. We live in a world where there's too much, easygoing, whatever goes, going with the flow, not determining your own future. And I want people to take control of their own lives and move forward.
I love that. I'm also an author, and I'm coming out with my third book. And it's all in regards to happiness and joy and how you could have it all. And you are so spot on, and I've learned so much from you. I guess that's why I'm in my driver's seat, and I am the CEO of my own journey. And it gives me it makes you feel good every single day. So for our listeners out there that are just feeling stuck, Sharon is giving you so many helpful tips. And I want you to hopefully have that pad and paper so you can go back and you can remind yourself of everything that she said. This is also going to be on replay for you. So, Sharon, I like what you said about how opportunity came along. And the message that I got is that you kept walking through the doors that were opening for you. You didn't say no to them. You at least looked into them. So many people are afraid to walk through those doors, but you, being a heroic woman, you walked through the doors. What happened if you didn't care for the door that opened for you? Would you stay or would you go?
No, you have to have your vision. You have to have your strategic plan. And I just did a show yesterday on you give your permission to say no. Give yourself permission to say no. You know, when you first get started, you hear the phrase, say yes and figure out how. Always say yes. And, when you're first getting started and you're meeting new people and looking for new associations, that might be good advice. But once you start establishing your expertise, I want to support people moving from an expert to becoming the authority. And that's done dynamically. It's done with a strategic plan. And the only precious resource we have is time. And so make sure that when you invest your time in your future, don't spend your time. Invest your time in what you want. And, I in the first book that I did with the foundation called 3 Feet from Gold, I released a personal success equation. And that's taking your passion and your talent, where most of us stop there because that's what we've been told to do. But that's all about us, your passion and your talent. True success comes when you take those and you add the power of association, surrounding yourself with the right people, having the right mentors, having the right people opening doors for you, and taking action. But also there's a plus F, and that's having faith in yourself. Too many of us, that F is fear, and it holds us back. Having faith in yourself. The most successful businesses either solve a problem or serve a need. You remind yourself about that. It helps you build that faith that gets rid of the fear. You realize what you're doing is bigger than you. And when you made a comment about the people looking and watching that might be, at a stalemate, 7 years ago, I lost my youngest son. Up until that point, I had been playing dynamically. I've been playing big, always looking for that next door to go in. And then all of a sudden, I find myself just coasting, being in neutral, being numb. And I realized I wasn't playing big anymore. And in fact, a couple of years ago, I almost thought about retiring and stopping. And I got a little pushback. I think even my son was saying, get over it, Mom. There's more for you to do. Every one of you has more to do. And we're here for a reason. And so I launched something called the Play Big Movement. There's a private Facebook page for Play Big Movement with Sharon, Lechter, totally free. And I made the decision that there was more for me to do, and I needed to get back into playing big again like I always had, because you have a message. You're already an expert. Everything that's happened to you until today has created who you are and your expertise. And what happens to you in the future based on the choices that you make. There are people that can benefit from what you know and what you've experienced. And so power of association. Who do you need to align with, joint venture with, allow you to spread your message in a bigger way? Taking that action, going through those doors, and making that discerning decision. Is this direction supporting me in what I want to do? If not, thank you. It's not in alignment with my mission. Always being in your own driver's seat, being the CEO of your own life to continue doing greater good.
I love that. And what I share with a lot of my peers and my audience is sometimes we need to pause in life. And thank you for sharing the story about you going through, really, it was a grieving process and you were stuck. And I appreciate you sharing that, because today so many people are feeling that pain and they just don't know how to get out of it, where all you have to do is just wake up and make that decision. Is that true?
And sometimes, Napoleon Hill also said, indecision is a decision. Mm-hmm. By being indecisive, you are allowing your life to be reactive. You're allowing other people to drive your life. And so make that decision to be engaged in your own future.
Wow. Very, very powerful. So you go around the world and you speak from the stages and you feed people what they need to hear. Some of them don't want to hear it. Some of them are closed off and say, no, Sharon could do that because she's Sharon. But I don't see myself being able to do that. Again, it's stinking thinking. It's, they're in their own way. How can they get out of their own way? Because I know that we spoke about it quite a few times right here, but they still aren't understanding. But I still don't understand. How do I get unstuck? Do they need to surround themselves, find different playgrounds to play in, different networking? What is it that would give them that foundation to give them the hope that there is something better and they have bigger purpose on this earth than where they are right now?
Well, my first question is your power of association. Who are you hanging out with? Are you expanding your reach? Are you spending time with people who want you to succeed? Are you spending time with people who are excited about forward movement? Are you spending your time with people that hold you back? And the next question is, what's up here? Are you allowing fear to stand in your way? It can be fear of criticism. It can be fear of success, fear of failure, fear of poverty. But those fears fear can either paralyze you or motivate you. And so I want to help support people to turn that fear into excitement and motivation to succeed. You may also want to read Outwitting the Devil, which Napoleon Hill wrote, and it was hidden away for 73 years. And it was a sequel to the book Think and Grow Rich. And it's all about how fear holds us back and how you can break through the shackles of fear. And it's been hugely important to the younger generation, introducing those concepts. And it helped me change my life. I was really honored to be able to bring that out. And because it really helps people, it takes on every taboo there is: religion, education, sex, diet, politics, all of them. And so how we allow ourselves, and for instance, as it relates to religion, as I read the manuscript and I wanted to get it out, it said, did you learn your religion through faith or through fear? And that really brought it home for me. I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church, and my main pastor was, fire and brimstone from the pulpit. I just knew I was going to go to hell, and I couldn't laugh, couldn't dance, couldn't play cards. And yet my youth minister there was always talking about the love of God. And so I saw that in action. And so reading the book really helped me understand the power that happens to us as children, things that happen to us that impact us on how we make our decisions and how we behave as adults. And once you can analyze it and recognize it, you can release it. And that's the power of Outwitting the Devil.
Wow, that is such great power. I talk about grieving, and it was 2 years ago when I had the breast cancer. 3 weeks into radiation, I got a divorce. I became a caretaker of my mother, and she has passed away in August. And I talk about grieving because, again, people are stuck in the grieving and the loss of a loved one. And I did a wonderful video about it on how it helped me to be able to wake up every morning feeling fresh and new and vibrant and getting out there and doing exactly what's going to make her proud by watching me from above. And the video is called A Positive Way to Grieve. And I love what you said. You can't stay stuck. And to surround yourself around the phenomenal people and take action is just it's breathtaking, because people are just so way stuck, whether they're grieving or their fear of the loss of whatever that could be, whether it's another person or a material thing. But in fact, I believe that everything that happens for us, it's for purpose. It's not because it happens to us. Can you share some of your view about the purpose, just like you did? You talked about the passion, where you want to be, and I speak a lot about live life on purpose.
Well, absolutely. And if anybody wants to visit my website, SharonLechter.com, there's a free download that it walks you through that success equation about your passion, about your talents, about that power of association. So it allows you to dig deep in what you already have. And in doing that, you discover new ways, new opportunities. And for people that are stuck, make sure you get yourself around people who believe in you. Sometimes for me, when I lost my son, it was the people that came towards me and kept my head above water when I was sinking. Allow those people around you to support you and ask them. They know more about you sometimes than you know about yourself, to help you find that purpose, that passion. And because life is more enriched when you have a purpose. When you are working towards something that you are passionate about, happiness, as far as the happiness jungle, is much more rewarding, because you are literally fulfilling an inner purpose and an inner goal. And my dad used to ask me each night, are you adding value to the world? Have you added value to someone's life today? And so he's been gone for 14 years, but I still ask myself that. Have I added value to someone's life today? And when I can answer that yes, I feel my happiness level go up because I know I'm making a contribution.
100%. And I always said, and I say it in that video, the grieving video, when I feel down and stuck, I feel like I'm sitting on one of her wings, which isn't giving her the ability to spread her wings and fly to watch me become exactly what she always prayed for me to become. So, and I speak to people, just like you said, that like me and want more from me versus people that they say they love me, and they do, but maybe their fear is that I won't succeed, so they're not going to give me those positive words of wisdom. But they'd rather me just stay in that mediocre. And I say, I love you from afar.
Well, there's another element. They may love and support you, and it's not anything about you. They see you making positive changes in your life, and they're not. And because they're not, their own fear of being left behind, they react by trying to pull you back. It's actually a subconscious, almost passive-aggressive position. But I see that, and so many times it's your own family. They see you moving forward, and they fear it because they're not, and they try and pull you back. But once you achieve that level of success, they become your biggest cheerleaders, and then they ask you for a loan. But again, know who you're surrounding yourself with and making sure that you may not be able to eliminate all negative, particularly if it's part of your family, but limit the time you allow them to influence you and expand the time you're with people who support you and want you to succeed.
So where are you traveling next? Where are you going to be featured on stages? Because I know our audience is very wide, it's worldwide. And so where are you going next, Sharon?
Well, I have several exciting things coming up. I'm going to be doing a main stage tour with Tim Story and Coach Burt. We're going to be actually where you are. We're going to be in Miami. We're going to be in Atlanta, Nashville, LA, Chicago, I think. So multiple cities, and we're going to be releasing that schedule. But coming up on February 22nd, there's a new television program called The World's Greatest Motivators. It just launched last week, and I was honored to be part of that. So my segment is February 22nd, and it's being broadcast on multiple channels, but the main one is WGC, which is out of Chicago. And you can go to worldsgreatestmotivators.com to get the where you can catch it in your local geographic area. But that's an exciting thing for me. Obviously, that we had a lovely event in Beverly Hills, and they filmed that, and then they've turned it into the television segments. So I'm excited about that. And I have an event the end of this month in Las Vegas to a couple thousand people that are in the financial industry. So I'm excited. And then following that, I'm back in LA speaking to a women's group. So I love what I do. I love the reception that I have. And I was at an event last night, and I love people who are seeking to better themselves.
Yeah, and you're right. You do love what you do, and that's why I was so attracted to you to introduce myself. I would have came backstage. I was going to find you because you are just such a bright light, and I just was gravitating towards everything that you were saying. And I'm going to throw this out in the universe. Number one, I will absolutely see you in Miami. And I will be speaking on the stages with you in 2020 because I could just feel it. You are a phenomenal woman. And you lead with your wings just so spread open. You're such a gift.
Well, thank you. That's a huge compliment. I appreciate that. And, everyone, we all have the opportunity to create the greatest success. It's never been easier to start a business and to promote a market. With the internet, we now can level the playing fields with the big boys. The issue is, really having that vision, having that strategic plan, and asking yourself, what problem are you solving? What need are you serving? The most successful businesses do one or the other. And reminding yourself, again, it takes you outside of yourself and highlights the greater good.
Wow. And the blue that you're wearing today, keep wearing it because it's like electrifying you. The energy is just absorbing and coming right through the screen. And those beautiful blue eyes of yours, they're like the ocean of never-ending hope and possibilities. Never-ending hope and possibilities. Yeah, you are delicious. So we are closing in to the final part of the show. I am so blessed and honored to be satelliting from West Palm Beach. And what other words of wisdom would you like to give the audience before we have to say see you later to them?
Well, I love the fact that we're on this show together at the beginning of 2020, because today is a new day, it's a new month, it's a new year, it's a new decade. And so we all have an opportunity for this to be the first of the rest, the first day of the rest of your life, right? And so you have to create what you want. Think about your own personal success equation. Go to the website, SharonLechter.com, download it, and really study it and say, are you fulfilling your purpose? What is your passion? What's your talent? Who are your associations? Taking the action and having faith in yourself. One of my biggest goals is to help people create businesses. I want you to own a business. I don't want you to own a job. And I want you to get to the point where that business is working for you. That means you've created an asset. And the way to be financially free is to have assets that generate income that exceed your monthly expenses. It's a simple formula. And so buy, sell, and create assets. And so I challenge everyone to do an audit of your life today and say, how can I increase assets? Invest your time in the assets. Don't keep exchanging time for money. Invest your time to create assets that will generate revenue for you.
I like that. I like that a lot. I always tell people, stop chasing money. Stop chasing money. Happiness equals success. Sharon, I am just so thrilled and honored to have had you on today, and I appreciate you so, so much. I look forward to seeing you again. I look forward to shaking your hand and giving you a hug and thanking you in person for what you have just delivered, not only to me, but to the world. I surely do appreciate you. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would highly encourage you to go to her website, and as soon as it opens up, even if it's on Facebook, all of a sudden you are going to feel her energy, because that's exactly how I felt last night at 1 o'clock in the morning when I decided to go and visit her website again. With that, everybody, I never said that life was easy, but I did say that you could be happier. It's time to hold your own flashlight and shine. So with that, thank you so much, Sharon. I greatly appreciate you. And again, I cannot wait to see you. For right now, I'll see you in Miami, and who knows where from there. So thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing in 2020 so brilliantly.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.